Stay with me. What I'm about to explain is not just another news cycle. It isn't media sensationalism, and it isn't a fictional scenario. What happened in the early hours of this morning is a constitutional precedent never before seen in the history of the United States. At 3:14 a.m. Eastern Time, an envoy departed from the Vice President's residence at the Naval Observatory. He carried two sealed envelopes, one for the Speaker of the House and the other for the President pro tempore of the Senate. Inside those envelopes was a single identical document. Signed by the Vice President and a majority of the Cabinet, it declared, in the formal language of the Constitution, that the President of the United States is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office. If you're just joining us, hit subscribe immediately. This is not an analysis, not a leak, and not a rumor. This is a constitutional mechanism unfolding before our eyes in real time. For the first time in history, Section 4 of the 25th Amendment has been invoked. The defiance. But this is where the true crisis begins. The President has rejected the decision. He refuses to step down. He refuses to acknowledge that the Constitution applies to him in this moment. According to multiple sources, the President remains inside the White House, hunkered down in the executive residence. He has issued instructions to the Secret Service to bar the Vice President from entering the complex, and has publicly declared that what has occurred is an illegal coup. This means the United States currently has two individuals claiming to be the commander-in-chief, two individuals issuing orders, two conflicting chains of command. And all of this is happening while the military establishment, including those responsible for the nuclear triad, is caught in the middle. How the law works. Let's clarify quickly. Section 4 of the 25th Amendment is designed for an extremely rare scenario. A president who is alive and conscious, but, in the eyes of the Vice President and the Cabinet, is unfit to exercise power. The moment that declaration is delivered to Congress, presidential authority transfers immediately to the Vice President, not after a vote, not after a court ruling, instantly. That happened at 3:14 a.m. Constitutionally, the Vice President became the acting president at that exact moment. However, the Constitution provides the President with a countermove. He can submit a written declaration stating that no inability exists. If the Cabinet objects again within 4 days, the matter moves to Congress. This means we could be entering a 21-day constitutional vacuum.
The most critical question now is, who is the actual commander-in-chief? This is not a theoretical debate. It leads us to the most dangerous point, the nuclear football. The President has one, the Vice President has another. Normally, the Vice President's codes are inactive, but upon the invocation of the 25th Amendment, those codes are supposed to go live, while the President's are deactivated. But who decides that? Who flips the switch? That decision rests with the National Military Command Center at the Pentagon. According to sources, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is now facing a question no commander has ever faced. If the President orders a nuclear strike right now, do you execute or do you refuse? Either choice could be catastrophic. The red line. The story doesn't end there. According to a senior Justice Department official, the Cabinet met in secret following a grave incident. The President, according to accounts, ordered the military to intervene on American soil to seize voting equipment in a swing state. The Secretary of Defense refused. The President threatened to fire him. That, according to the signatories, was the red line. The moment they realized, if we don't act now, the military could be used against the people. A nation divided. In response, the President has taken to social media, calling the move treason and urging his supporters to march on the White House. The result? Crowds are beginning to gather. Some are armed. Police are on high alert. The complication? In Washington, D.C., the President technically controls the National Guard. But if the Vice President, as the constitutional acting President, issues an order, and the President issues a counter-order, who is obeyed? There is no field manual, no precedent, and no playbook for this scenario. Even the Secret Service is reportedly divided. Details suggest a potential standoff between federal protection teams, each side convinced they are following lawful orders. The clock is ticking. The president has the physical location. The vice president has the constitutional legitimacy. Neither is able to displace the other without a dangerous escalation. The constitutional clock is ticking. Markets are crashing. Foreign capitals are in shock. The entire world is watching. The U.S. Constitution has been tested before, but never like this. We are at a true breaking point. One wrong decision by one person could turn a constitutional crisis into a violent confrontation. The 25th Amendment is active. The president is defiant. Two chains of command, the military in the middle, and the crowds are converging. The only question remains: who will blink first before something happens that cannot be undone? Stay with me. This is a historic moment, and what comes next is even more perilous.